Right now, we're joined by Avid Benz-Ikri. He's a senior product manager over at Amazon Relay, and he's walked some interesting paths, too. I was looking through his background. He's been with Shipwell, Convoy, and even Zillow. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. Great to be here.
What a curious background, man. Tell me a little bit about yourself before we jump into some Amazon Relay.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you mentioned, my background, prior to going into supply chain, I was very much industry agnostic. I started my career at Microsoft, made my way over to Zillow at one point, was working in real estate marketing. And then in 2019, I joined Convoy, and that's when I really dipped my feet into the waters of supply chain pre-pandemic. And then getting into that world and seeing the world completely change in 2020 really kind of opened my eyes and very much made supply chain, an everyday conversation, which continues to this day.
Tale as old as time. I call it the Roach Motel. So many of us were career agnostic. Then we step into this field, and then it's 5 years later, 15 years later, 20 years later. But you know what? We love it and we breathe it. But now tell me a little bit about Amazon Relay.
Yeah, absolutely. So Amazon Relay is technology that's offered to trucking companies across the world. But speaking about here in the U.S., trucking companies can sign up with Relay and be able to haul those trailers that so many of us see on the highways every day with the big Amazon smile on the sides. And it's a free opportunity for them. They can sign up, they can book spot work. We also offer contracts, and it allows carriers of any size, whether it be owner-operators, single truck fleets, all the way up to large fleets can sign up and book work. And a lot of this work is going in and out of Amazon facilities. So it allows them to do a lot of power-only work and allows them to, find work that fits their schedules.
Well, we have a lot of truckers who listen to the show, especially on our Sirius XM feed. So what's your pitch to them? Why should a carrier want to use Amazon Relay? Why would they want one of those boxes behind their truck?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first and foremost, it's the reliability of working with Amazon. It's a brand everyone knows. There's an opportunity that the work that you do when you haul with Amazon ultimately benefits potentially even your family or your friends, because so much of that the goods that are being transported ultimately are being placed to allow for same day, same day delivery that so many of us enjoy. That's only made possible by the carriers that do the middle mile work of moving it from sort centers to fulfillment centers and even to postal stations where those things are delivered, to folks' mailboxes or their front doors.
When you mentioned the pulling the Amazon trailers, and I think a lot of people will think of the dry vans, you could go and pull the trailer, but do you have other lines too? Do you have box trucks? You got containers? What else can you pull for Amazon?
Yeah, great question, and thank you for asking it. Predominantly, it is dry van, but we also do offer intermodal, so containers. We do have box truck work as well, and predominantly, you're going to be hauling those Amazon trailers, but also we do have bring your own trailer, right? So live load and unload work as well. We've found that a lot of carriers prefer to haul the Amazon trailers, because with drop shipping, it's ready to go. They can show up to the facility and hook up and go on the road. And then also, it reduces their wear and tear and cost to maintain the trailers in their fleet, so they can haul ours instead.
Can I move more? Are you going to keep me moving? Am I going to make more? Am I going to make more money? I know you do some power only and stuff like that. How are you helping fleets drive down some of those costs, especially in this sort of tepid market right now?
Yeah, definitely. So, with the spot market, we offer loads that the carriers can pick and choose kind of one way. So you can offer blocks of work as well. So they can book full calendar blocks and then we fill it in with loads. We also offer those contracts. And what's really nice about those is those can be week-long or month-long contracts. And for the carrier, they're more or less assured that they'll have the work, provided to their fleets. The blocks will be filled with work that goes from different facilities. And for them, it's the assurance of knowing that that work is going to be there and they'll be able to, keep their trucks running, which is how these trucking companies stay afloat and thrive as well.
How often are you paying out? Like, how long do I got to wait to get paid? I did an Amazon run for you guys. Sometimes you hear some of these terms and it's like 90-day pay time. Like who's got time for that in this market?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's with 1 week payment, so you'd get it then, and there's absolutely no additional cost to get it within that week. So essentially, there's a cutoff point where loads that are finished essentially at the end of the week get paid out the following Friday. If it's in the next week, you'd have to wait till the following week. But the idea is that we want to make carriers be able to receive that revenue quickly and not having to be paying any fees or any sort of percentages back to get it in a timely fashion.
You know, a lot of drivers, they don't like downloading yet another app. How does your app work, and will it help? Will me downloading your app allow me to actually delete some of these other apps I got on here? Do you bring some of the ecosystem together?
Yeah, well, it's predominantly the Amazon tech specifically, and I've talked to a number of carriers that do exclusively Amazon work. And so for them, the ability to get rid of other apps is more around that their fleet is able to run because there's just so much work. The Amazon just started the big spring sale today, and so consumers right now are buying goods, and throughout the year, like in years past, we've had Prime Big Deal Days and Prime Day, of course, peak season, and so much of the work that's available to them and that keeps these fleets moving is as a result of consumers buying goods. They want to have things, they want to get good deals. And so what's nice about the app is on the carrier side, they're able to find the work and book it. It's the same app that their drivers would be using, or in the case that they're both a driver and a carrier, they actually do the work themselves. They'd only have one app on their phone, and they'd have all the information about the pickup, the drop off, how to check in. And then also we offer navigation that's specifically for commercial vehicles. So accounting for low bridges, roads that are restricted. We want to make sure that we're keeping, the trucks themselves safe, and then the communities we serve safe as well.
Now, you mentioned something interesting there. You said that some drivers do all of their work to Amazon, right? So that all they use the app, but that would mean that some drivers don't. So what's flexibility like? Does that mean it's not exclusive to run Amazon boxes if I want to do some other stuff as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So carriers have a choice. They can work with us to either fill gaps or use it for all of their work. But the opportunity here is it's choose as you want. Pick your own path. The ability to choose those contracts, which could fill up your schedule, or you could look at the load board and decide, okay, there's an opportunity for me to take, a load here, or, prevent a deadhead or get paid for that, ride home with a load that Amazon would be offering you. So it's very much choose your own adventure, choose your own path. There's not any sort of restriction with that.
How does someone qualify? Do you have fleet size limits, authority limits, things like that? What's sort of the process for getting on board?
Yeah, so they sign up online or through the app. You can download the Amazon Relay app, through the App Store. There's no restriction on fleet size. We have, fleets as small as a single truck, and we have fleets that are significantly larger than that. So all are welcome. And the opportunity there in terms of the requirements from an insurance perspective, we spell all of that out, as you go to sign up in terms of liability, and this, it's more or less industry standard requirements for cargo and liability insurance that a fleet would need to be able to haul with Amazon.
Wow. What do you think the outlook is this year for some of this Amazon freight? You think the drivers will keep moving? You think it's a worthwhile? I mean, of course, you're a little biased, but you think it's a worthwhile endeavor?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, whenever I see these sort of big sales come up, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, this big spring sale, tough to say that fast, you really do see an opportunity because Amazon can really create or generate demand, which at the end of the day is an important thing because that ultimately feeds this industry and feeds the opportunity for folks to have work and be able to have earnings, because we've seen the market fluctuate, and we know that historically, the first quarter of the year post peak can be a little bit slower. So to introduce something internally, we call these high volume events. So these are opportunities where we generate a lot of this demand amongst consumers. It really does feed into this, this space, and allows us to offer these carriers and these fleets more work than they might see otherwise without an event like that.
Yeah, it's interesting because retail. There's obviously definitely some seasonality in retail. But there's some great times you could jump into the relay program, like you said. There's flexibility. You might not be running every single month, but there might be some of those times where you're in the type of market where your seasonality impacts some of the freight you move. Well, Amazon is booming, and that's when you jump your trucks on the relay. There's a lot of different ways to use this tool as an arrow in your quiver. But if people want to sign up, where do they go to get onboarded and to start using relay, or at least finding out if they qualify?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's relay.amazon.com, or like I mentioned, you can go into the App Store, whether you're on Apple or Android, just look up Amazon Relay. That's where you can find all the information. You can download the app or get started on the website. Very easy to understand. Lots of questions and answers provided for folks that are coming to learn for the first time. We also offer a lot of resources on our blog just to kind of educate folks that might even be learning about the industry. We want to kind of help bring understanding to what the opportunities are. And in so much of that content that we provide, there's other links to other content. So it's kind of like helping bring additional information to folks as they get up to speed. But it's available whenever folks need it.
Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for stopping by FreightWaves Small Fleet Owner-Operator Summit, as well as What the Truck. I appreciate it. Everyone go check out Amazon Relay. Thank you for joining us for the